More disappointment, really, in terms of the title race, and that's 10 points from a possible 21 for Arsenal. But how much and how long will they dwell on that, considering what's on the horizon, Martin?
They have no time to do that. They're already dealt with that. You know, OK, the pathway to success is long and windy from an Arsenal point of view, because it's going to be 3 years on the bounce, looking like they're going to come second. The Champions League represents a really good opportunity for Arsenal. 3-0 up in the tie, half-time, 90 hairy minutes to come, because you know that Arsenal will probably do it the hard way if they're going to do it at all. So it was really important they didn't pick any more injuries up today. Jorginho, we're not sure what's happened there, whether that's a head injury or whatever. But Ben White going down yesterday was bad news. So again, that hampered him. Looks like it's a clean bill of health, and it's onwards to the next game.
Yeah. What will Mikel Arteta take away from today?
I think at the end he would have been frustrated, especially with not being able to keep a clean sheet, because that's the mentality they'll have to take in on Wednesday. And for his standards, and I felt for Raya as well, because he would have wanted that clean sheet, because he's leading in terms of Premier League clean sheets. But and I think he would have been frustrated, because I felt they should have got the result today, the 3 points. But it is a difficult team, Brentford. But I think it was a missed opportunity.
2 wins in 7. You know, in too many, what is it now, 12 draws, is it, or so?
Yeah, 12 draws.
Just not, good enough. Where we think of the end of the season last year, where Arsenal were on this 16-game run, won 14 games. They've not been able to get, and of course that's the front of the team, so many players out. Today they tried Trossard up top, and it just didn't work. It didn't have the options, didn't have enough bodies getting in the final third.
Yeah. Was that game really typical and typifies their season then? Well, dropping points from winning positions ultimately?
Well, what shaped the season was, you could say, ill-discipline. You could say it was difficult decisions. Some of them weren't always correct, maybe, from the referees. A few of those were rescinded, some of those sending-offs. You're playing a lot of minutes, over 200 minutes or so, with 10 players. And then you've got the injuries that have kicked in with Ødegaard, with Saka. It's been endless. Havertz out now, Jesus. All of that's played a part, Manish. And it was some weeks ago that we knew it had gone. But Arsenal, actually, if they could have won these recent games, could have made it much more difficult for Liverpool.
Yeah, let's have a look at the opening goal then. Arsenal took the lead, of course, after what was a surging run initially. From Declan Rice, Thomas Partey finished it off, but quick thinking from a former Brentford keeper there.
Yeah, brilliant. And then with Declan Rice, who we know just keeps progressing, he's really calm here. He just keeps it, he doesn't rush to pass that. And then Wissa there can't go and press him. So he just opens the channel up to play the ball to Partey, and it's a wonderful finish from him.
I think this is what I like about Arsenal. This is something I think they've pushed on in the last few weeks, is attacking with pace. I think sometimes throughout the season it's been a little bit slow and allowed teams to get back into shape. But look, with the form that Declan Rice is in, he's one of the best ball carriers in the Premier League, I think. We don't see enough of it because of how opposition defend against them. But when he's given the distance and the length to dribble and drive like he does, and pick out the good decision making at the end, Partey isn't going to miss from there. So, and again, great vision from the goalkeeper to catch, carry and counter. It's
a good point, Karen. Do we need to see more of that from Arsenal? Just be that little bit more direct.
Do you know, this season, if you were to go through the stats, we've got a stat man upstairs, and you look at the number of times that teams have come to Arsenal and just sat edge of the box. It's been unbelievable this year. So rarely you're in a situation like that where you can open it up. It was a corner for Brentford. Of course, they score. We're going to see that in a minute from a corner. But so they were brave to attack in that manner. But, it's key to their game, but they spend most of the time trying to find solutions to break teams down. And here it was. Now, this is about being calm. That's why I think Declan here, this guy just keeps growing, getting better. It's like he's finding out for himself. It's like a discovery and learning exercises on. Yeah. He's only realising now how good he is. I can take these corners. I can take the free kicks, but also I can carry the ball with composure and then find the perfect pass.
Yeah. And also, I hasten to add patience. Releasing that ball at just the right time, and also giving Partey a bit of opportunity to just weigh up his options.
But you do that in training a lot. You do those kind of 3v2s and those attack. We used to do it all the time, and it is just about making the right decision and keeping it nice and calm. But I do think, actually, I know Martin's right, they do play against teams that sit a little bit deeper, but I do think there's been times when they can drive and attack a lot quicker. And I think when you have the players like Martinelli, Saka and Declan Rice, who can carry at big distances at pace, I think they need to do that a little bit more next season, because I think that could be the difference from second to first. Don't slow it down all the time. It allows people to block up and do what Martin said. And I really think that has been a problem for Arsenal the last couple of seasons.
Is that down to the profile of players they bring on board over the summer?
I think they've got to move the ball quicker.
Yeah.
You know, in an Arsene Wenger team, it was one touch, two touch. And then you give the ball to the guys who've got that explosive pace. One or twice, Martinelli isn't quite certain. It's like, have a trick and just knock it out your feet like an Overmars would have done. And he has the pace. And when it doesn't work for him, you can see him dropping in confidence. Right at the end there, Arsenal were really going for it. With Ødegaard back on the pitch, one of these sort of game controllers, they were better. You know, they traded Zinchenko, let's not forget, in a kind of a 10 role at times today in the pockets. And that, you know, you're trying to find rhythm and you have to keep making all these changes. I think that upset Arsenal today.
Talking of Partey, who scored that goal, are you a little wary that I think he was taken off the pitch as a precautionary measure more than anything else?
This has been his best season in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah.
He's been really consistent, and you wouldn't want to lose him going into a major game like this.
Because you need him.
I think he's okay, but he won't play right back. Timber was rested for most of the game. You know, high risk with him. No Ben White available. So, you know, the Arsenal, I wouldn't say they're down to the bare bones, but without Gabriel as a main central defender, it was imperative today. They didn't pick up any other injuries. Okay, Jorginho, maybe they can live without, but he's still a very experienced player that you want around for this next game.
Credit to Brentford, though. They still fought back, of course. It didn't take too long to get the equalising goal from Yoane Wissa.
No, and that's his 15th of the season. We highlighted him and Mbeumo at the start of the show because they've been prolific this season, but obviously Martin said second phase of a corner, I'll still be disappointed, but I do think there's a little bit of a blocking in it, and I'll see it on the next angle. But Mbeumo tied in, and Keown came on 20 minutes and had a huge impact. That's a great think back post because it spreads Arsenal apart, and then it's easy then for Wissa to try and get the tap in. But you see it on here now. Martinelli gets blocked by that little block there from Damsgaard, and then that means then he's a bit slow to react. So then he has to say to Trossard, go with the runner, not the ball. And then there's the confusion. So that block, I actually did think caused a little bit of a problem. Look, you still can defend it better from Arsenal. Raya shouts at the end, you've got to pick up the seconds. But look, credit to Brentford. As Martin said all show, actually. Corners, set pieces, they're big, they'll be mindful of them, stay switched on, and they got their equaliser.
He sorts his feet out really well here, doesn't he? Look, he lets it run across him, and he's got to improvise, swivels on it, back of the net.
He almost takes it early, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm really impressed with these front players and the work that Thomas Frank does with them. They're getting better and better. You know, a lot of the time they were, you know, on the break, but that's a quality finish, isn't it? Right in the middle of the goal there. Normally he's breaking to score these types of goals, but he's got everything in his game now.
It's a 50th goal involvement in the Premier League for Yoane Wissa, 41 goals and 9 assists, only the second Brentford player to do so behind Brian Mbeumo. I mean, he's been brilliant for them, hasn't he?
Yeah, as you might mention earlier, Tony, you know, going. They only let Tony go, really, because they've got these guys waiting in the wings and they've got, you know, 16 and 15 between them. That's phenomenal. I'm very surprised other teams haven't sniffed these two and tried to poach them, as well as the manager, away from.
That's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem.
You're smiling, Martin.
Well, they tried to.
Is that with your Arsenal hat on? Your smiling?
Mbeumo was.
He's not wearing another hat, is he? Let's be honest. He's only got one hat.
I've got an Everton hat and a Villa hat. But no, I think they had a little foray into the transfer market.
Just dip their toe in, did they?
Thomas Frank wasn't having any of it, and I don't blame him, to be honest. I mean, I was talking to him at the end of last season, and I said, look, I think it's because a lot of people have difficulty actually saying the correct pronunciation of your two front players. And he said that's probably the only reason they don't get the credit they deserve. Because they are absolutely outstanding, and we're lucky to have them. And he likes to play with 2 or 3 strikers. That's brave from the manager. You think mostly now people play with 1 striker, but not Brentford. They go for it.
Yeah. One player who played his part in the equalising goal for Brentford, who came off the bench, Mikel Keown.
Yeah.
It was quite the cameo from him, Karen.
Brilliant. I mean, and both ends, this is obviously the equaliser, overlapping run, good relationship with Mbeumo there. And I love this little dink pass, because like I said, it opens Arsenal up. It puts everyone on the back foot, and then that's where he can pick up the seconds. And then this one, you like this one, Martin, didn't you?
Yeah, because he's not asleep. And Saka probably should have hit that now, but he doesn't. But he gets back in and rescues his team. So he hasn't sat on the bench, you know, sulking. He's on loan from Florentino. I think he's only had 6 involvements in the game, but I was really impressed with what he did. And here he's carrying the ball for his team. Lots of composure, goes down, doesn't he? But that's intelligent, gets a free kick. A useful player. Be interested to see if they take that option and he signs full-time next year.
Bit of an all-action.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, look at him carrying the ball up the pitch as well. So, yeah, be interesting, as Martin said, what he does next season.
It's a very good point here at Emirates against a very good Arsenal team that just beat Real Madrid 3-0 4 days ago. And then you're going down 1-0, then you're fighting back and getting 1-1. I think that just shows everything about the mentality and character in the team, stick to the game plan, stayed disciplined, and waited for the moments we could get. I think we defended extremely well. We limit Arsenal to very little throughout the game, which is a big positive. I would have loved us to create even more. Now maybe getting greedy a little bit, but it's a very good team, and they also defend very well.
When you did get a chance, Wissa, another goal, another really good finish. Having a striker who scores constantly is almost a luxury in today's football. And how privileged do you feel to have him?
Yeah, it's such a privilege. You know, I think he's now scored, 15 Premier League goals. How many number 9s have scored 15 Premier League goals this year? And for a team, with all due respect, we think we're good, but we're probably not among the best teams in the league. I think that is a big credit to Wissa, the main big credit to Wissa, but also the way we play, the chances we create.
Yeah, and Brentford still in with a shout of finishing in the top half of the table, which would be only the second time they've managed it in their time in the Premier League. They continue to make strides, don't they, almost year on year?
Brilliant. I love them. I actually did my dissertation on them.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was just so fascinated by them as a club and how well they did and what they've done as a football club and kept moving forward. They're an absolute credit. And like we said, to have the two forwards that they do have, to have 16 goals, 15 goals between Wissa and Mbeumo, a manager like that.
Who's always so positive, by the way.
Honestly, it's such a well-run football club, a brilliant manager, and they're moving forward and forward. And if they can finish the highest and have the most points they've had, then what an achievement that will be.
Yeah. Mikel Arteta's doing likewise, of course, at Arsenal. But what did he make of tonight's draw with the Bees? Here he is now with his post-match thoughts.
Mikel, obviously a wonderful week for you, but a disappointing end to it.
Yes, because we lost 2 points. I mean, with what we did during the game and how little we conceded, we did enough to win the game. But against Brentford, you don't defend the first, second action, set pieces well, and they're going to punish you big time. And that happened. We had an open goal as well with Bukayo after the mistake. We didn't do the 2-0, and with 1-0 is always a game open. So very disappointed the way we conceded the goal.
You know, Brentford having a very good run of form at the moment, especially away from home, so you knew it was going to be tricky, as you say. And you struggle to create lots of clear chances.
Yeah, it is always the case because they are really well organised and they don't give you any space. So to generate constantly situational goals is very tricky. We could have done better in many situations to finish more actions, especially, but we haven't done that. So when you do that and you score a goal, that should be enough to win the game, and we haven't managed to see it through.
Norgard stayed on when perhaps other referees might have decided he shouldn't.
Yeah, it's clear.
And you end up with 10 men because you've used all your 5 substitutes. Jorginho gets injured. What's your immediate prognosis on him?
I don't know. He said he could not breathe properly, so I think it's an issue with one of the ribs. But it's strange because Georgie, if he can carry on, he can. So that means that that is something significant, I think.
And just lastly, you've taken 10 points now from your last 7 Premier League games, which obviously is not enough really in a title race. Liverpool have dropped points as well, but it's an opportunity missed.
Yeah, for sure, because we wanted to win and try to increase the probabilities that we have in the league. We haven't managed to do that. I think we have to be critical with ourselves, because especially the way we concede the goal.
Is there a natural element where, however much you try and for it not to happen, that players, when they know they have this enormous game on Wednesday, the back of their mind are on that somewhere, or is that so professional that that's not the case? I
don't think the way we did it is certainly not, and the feeling of the play is certainly not, because the best way to prepare is to play as well as possible and win the game, and that's it. We start the preparation now.
Wish you very good luck on Wednesday. Thank you, Mick.
Yeah, all eyes on that huge game at the Bernabeu on Wednesday, but he was not happy with the decision from the officials for this challenge by Christian Norgard on Gabriel Martinelli. He feels it should have been a red. It got only a yellow. What do you think, Martin? Are you wavering in your initial view?
Well, no, we were at half-time, Karen, we were both, you know, obviously I felt just about borderline, but I can see that he felt it was a sending off. I mean, look, if he's out for the midweek game against Real Madrid, and at this point the manager's fuming, isn't he?
Yeah.
Another player down. So, no, okay, the referee was right on top of it, so let's respect the referee. But he was asked the question. I don't think he was really pushing the point, but he felt it was a red card for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was close. I thought it was close towards a red. When I'd seen it, I was like, oof. I think it's that angle there with the left leg that hooks round him to make it more scissor.
It's a double challenge, isn't it?
It's late, but I think the referee was just about right, but I think he's very close towards a red.
Yeah. And I suppose summing up the evening altogether from an Arsenal perspective, Arteta won't give up on the title until it's mathematically over. But did he give a key indication with those 4 more changes, and he did ahead of Everton last weekend, that the Champions League is now his only realistic hope of a trophy?
Actually, last weekend it was the opposite. He claimed he made the 2 changes because he was desperate to keep this winning culture within the football club, and that's what he's about. At the end of the day, he was disappointed today. He wants to keep winning, but the bigger picture will be uppermost in his mind. This is an amazing opportunity for Arsenal to get through to the semi-finals of the Champions League and beat last year's champions.
Yeah, and their season now hinges on the next 3 days, isn't it?
How exciting! That's an opportunity, one they should relish. So we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah. You're taking your Arsenal hat with you?
I'm going.
Wednesday night
I'm going.
To the
Yes.
Bernabeu by any chance?
I'm about to pack after tonight's show.
Emirates Stadium, they managed to find an equaliser, and I'm delighted to say the goal scorer, Yoane Wissa, is waiting to speak to us now. Congratulations, Yoane. Thanks for speaking to us. Tell us what it's like to perform as well as that against such a good team as Arsenal.
Hello, everyone. It's really hard. It's really hard to perform against these guys. I think they are in very, very good shape. We struggle the first half. To be fair, I had the feeling like it was a boring game first half for us, and second half like we tried to had more chance to go more forward, and of course we consider on counter. I think we could avoid, and after that we just try to make sure like we come back, and we know that we are strong on set pieces. And to be fair, the goal I scored is this kind of goal I scored in training. So I was quite happy to score that goal, especially today.
Well, we've seen you do that lots of times. We'll come to that in just a moment, Yoane. But you said it was a struggle in the first half. Why do you think that was?
I don't know. A bit of everything. Sometimes it can be a bit too much stress, too more emotional against these guys, and they are very good on the ball. They are very good players. So I don't know. Sometimes we just pull the ball away. I think we could stay more calm on the ball. This is what we've done straight after on the second half. I think that's the good thing. I'm happy with the guys.
Yoane, congratulations on a good point and obviously your goal. Talk us through it. It's a really smart finish.
Yeah. I know the target was back stick. And as soon as I see the knife hit the ball, I knew I could definitely had a chance to finish. But I let the ball go, and I know just put the ball on target. And when it's like that, it's really close with on the goalkeeper. It's hard to save it, and I just try to put on target, and it was a tap in, I would say.
And I like that smile. 15 goals for you this season, 15 Premier League goals. It feels to me it's like you're in the form of your life. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair. First of all, because I had very good conversation with Thomas. He gave me a lot of love, a lot of confidence, and after that I need to just step forward with the guys, talk with them, and after that, after the first, second, third goals, you just go through, and I think I step up my game as well, on the ball, protect more the balls and try to link the play. I think I'm definitely for my life, especially in Premier League, because I know it's really, really tough. So I need to be more stronger than ever, especially when I play as a striker. But I'm good because Thomas gives me a lot of freedom and he trusts me. So I'm really pleased with that.
Tell us about that conversation, Yoane, with your manager. Was that something that you sought him out, or did he come to you because he maybe saw that you were struggling a little bit with confidence?
To be fair, we had the conversation end of last year about the fact I will be the striker because I started playing well end of the last year, And this year I knew like I'm going to play a striker, and Thomas just come to me and said like, of course, like we know Ivan is leaving, but I trust you. We bring Thiago just to be you two together in front. And lucky he's been injured, so I know like I need to step up my level. The guys trust me, so yeah, he just like. He knows like how well I play and how hard I work, because this is the only thing he wants from a player. So and after that, give me a lot of freedom. Of course, he helped when he score goals, but I think that's the only thing he helped me a lot. That's the confidence he give it to me, and the trust, especially because I know what I can do on the pitch. But if you don't trust me, I can be a bit frustrated or scared to do something. But I think he gave me a lot of love, and this is what I need.
Yoane, tell us about the attitude and the mentality of yourself and this Brentford team that just doesn't know when it's beat. So many times you come back from a goal behind, and when you get yourselves back in it, you look to win the game and you know, salvage some points.
That's the thing. We are a team. I think, as you can see, we had the same 11 almost every time. It's only 1 or 2 changes by game, but we know like you can trust to each other. Even the goal we concede, you can see how hard I try to come back. Even I'm a striker, but it's like this mentality: take not everything for granted. We are lucky to be in Premier League, but we need to work hard, and to be safe in Premier League is not the easy thing. So I think that's the thing. That's the mentality Thomas wants us to have. And yes, just try to try to understand the way we are lucky to stay in Premier League, and how we need to work hard to win game, because every point is really important, and that we know that.
Well, Yoane, we wish you well for the rest of this season and beyond. Thank you very much for talking to us. Really interesting to hear from you.